Ever since the beginning of early civilizations, bears have been seen as a symbol of power, which explains why many people are fazed by the mere sight of them. But when you have the right instructor, you can manage to stay calm even if the bear is right behind you. Other times, you need to run out of your own house to escape from a giant beastly bear. If you still think this species is a calm one, make sure to watch to the end to see a bear face off with a cougar mother. Here are 10 scary bear encounters caught on camera. Stealthy bear sneaks up behind scared kid. When relaxing in nature, there's a significant chance of running into a wild and dangerous animal such as a bear. How one handles a bear encounter depends completely on their nerve and experience. This child was making its way down a hill, only to realize it's being followed by a wild bear. Most people would panic in such a situation, and their haphazard attempts at escaping danger would only make things worse. But this child has his father on his side, who encourages him to stay calm and instructs him on how to behave so as not to provoke a bear attack. If you look closely, the bear has a very relaxed stature, which signals that it's just curious and was never planning on attacking. But that's easy to miss when your judgment is clouded by adrenaline and fear. Number 9. Bear sneaks in at night. When in the wilderness, chances are high you might bump into a feral animal. However, your own home is the last place you'd expect to encounter a wild bear. This homeowner heard footsteps at 4 in the morning and headed downstairs thinking it was his drunk roommate stumbling around, only to notice something much furrier in his living room. Upon seeing a mother bear and her cubs, he runs upstairs to warn his roommate. But the bear came charging right at him and he slammed the door in his face. Panic sets in and the homeowner begins uncontrollably screaming and warning his friend. The two wait out the situation and are eventually relieved to see the bear family return to the wild from their bedroom window.
Whoa! Oh my God!
Number 8. Hungry grizzly scares camper. Grizzly bears have evolved to consume almost anything from berries to flowers, herbs, deer, salmon, and other small mammals. This unlucky camper woke up to a grizzly bear foraging right outside his tent. Though it's rare for grizzlies to stalk and kill humans for food, it's still possible, which is why all campers should know the basics of dealing with a curious bear. The last thing you need to do is feed a bear in hopes of becoming friends or making it go away. That will have the opposite effect. Once a bear is used to your treats, it will keep coming back for more, which will only raise your chances of angering an untamed animal. Number 7. Curious bears climb trees with 2 hunters. Bears are incredibly curious creatures, and when you're anywhere near their habitat, prepare yourself for an interesting encounter because there's a huge chance they will come out of their sleeping hole to examine you thoroughly. If not that, they'll definitely want to be around you. Ironically, this pair of bears sprinted across the forest only to climb the tree where a couple of hunters were setting up their equipment. The full-size bears don't hesitate even in the slightest whilst climbing the tree. With good luck on their side, the hunters got away with an interaction of a lifetime without a single injury. Of course, being in such close proximity to any wild animal can bring about an intense reaction, but these hunters are supposedly too familiar with this type of situation. 6. 2 bears chase a woman at night. Sundown brings about the awakening of many feral and savage creatures. In most places, this means bears that are looking for food in the darkness. There are various undocumented cases of night attacks, but one thing that's sure about them is that it's always predatory bears. The woman in this video was quite aware of what would occur next if she didn't react fast enough. Just a few moments later, two viciously famished bears end up chasing her right to her front door. The woman had already hidden inside, only after confirming that she locked her flimsy door properly. Whatever support her delicate door provided was apparently enough, as the bears turned away, barely a few seconds of looking for her. Your wit and fast thinking skills are clearly more important than the measure of safety you take. 5. Man films a harsh showdown between two grizzlies. The fight for dominance in the wilderness is usually resolved by a cold-blooded brawl. Grizzly bears start off with an easy show of power and eventually move on to more violent ways to determine who becomes the alpha in a certain territory. If you're witnessing a showdown like this, it's best to walk away quietly. One faint sound could catch the bear's attention, and all that pent-up anger could potentially be unleashed on you. A passerby found two grizzlies in the middle of their ruthless brawl. Like most of the curious public, the viewer stopped to film the intimidating yet intriguing scene happening right in front. Unfortunately, the view misjudged the proximity of the bears near him, and he had to scurry away as soon as one of them started running towards him. Number 4. Determined dog scares away confused bear. Man's best friends have always been brave. Since the beginning, canines have been the ones to sacrifice and alert humans when danger stares at them in the face. A confused and frightened bear approached a golden retriever in the middle of the night. The bear was mostly trying to get to the garbage can behind the dog, but the dog was loyal to its owner and tried to block out the much bigger mammal with just a few barks. Judging by the bear's body language, it had no intention of attacking or even intimidating the dog back. The loyal and dedicated mutt was determined to get the wild animal off the property and continued to bother the bear till it eventually walked away. Number 3. Vicious bear drags and hunts a giant moose. The animal kingdom has a clear hierarchy and food chain that most animals comply with. However, it's not a perfect system, and sometimes anomalies like this happen. A couple was passing by in Norrbotten in Sweden and witnessed an event so peculiar they had to capture it. Generally, moose and bears are roughly on the same level when it comes to predation once their strengths and strategies are compared. However, a famished bear saw an injured moose on the side of the road, and without needing to put up a fight, it dragged the moose away into the forest for an easy meal. Number 2. Frustrated sloth bear fights annoying tiger. The sloth bear is quite miniature in size as compared to the rest of the bear family. In fact, they only feed on fruit, ants, and termites. However, its diet does not render it defenseless. The Ranthambore National Park is home to a shy sloth bear and several tigers. Though sloth bears tend to live a solitary life, they're still skilled in defense and combat, especially when apex predators are involved. The sloth bear here in this clip made its attempt to ignore the tiger, but when the tiger started to invade the bear's personal space, the sloth decided to communicate in a better way. It scared off the tiger by simply chasing it for a few miles, and the cowardly tiger ran off. Number 1. Grizzly bear attacks cougar and her baby. Protecting your offspring is inherently a mammalian need at its best. However, bears rarely have that need and tend to be equally harsh to other animals young. In this case, the cougar was essentially following her maternal instincts and making an attempt to save her cub from the unusually aggressive bear. After a small scuffle, the grizzly bear began to retreat, realizing that this would bear no fruit. Comment down below which bear encounter sent shivers down your spine. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Wildely, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. We'll see you in the next one.